Look at her pretending to be successful, my sister laughed, tapping her spoon against the glass. A businesswoman. Mom, tell her, real money doesn't come from playing shop. My mother didn't even look at me. Sweetheart, don't be sensitive. Your sister understands finances. You were always creative. That's enough. The table smelled like roasted chicken and old judgments. Their laughter sat heavy, rehearsed, comfortable. I smiled the way you do when you've learned smiling costs less than explaining. People think betrayal is loud. It isn't. It's familiar. Sounds like family dinners and jokes that never include you. Hi everyone, my name is Alara Whitmore. I'm the daughter who built something quietly while being laughed at loudly. The one whose pathetic little business was a punchline for years. The one who didn't touch a cent of the family inheritance because, according to them, I'd waste it. Tonight, my golden sister Serena had already drained that inheritance dry. Investments that vanished. Accounts mysteriously emptied. Properties restructured into her name. Everyone knew. No one said it out loud. Until my mother cleared her throat. Alara, she said gently, like this was a favor. Your sister is going through a rough patch. We think it's only fair you gift her half of what you've made. Family helps family. There was the ask. The expectation. The entitlement dressed as love. I felt something click into place, not anger. Clarity. I looked at Serena. Her manicured fingers froze around her wineglass. She already knew what I'd built. He just never believed it mattered. I don't gift money, I said softly. My mother frowned. Then what do you do? I met her eyes and smiled. Slow, deliberate calm. I don't hire thieves. The room went silent. And that was the moment they realized I hadn't come to dinner empty-handed. Silence pressed against my ears, thick as fog. My mother's mouth opened, then closed again as if she needed to rearrange her understanding of me before speaking. Alara, she said carefully, that was unnecessary. Serena scoffed, but her eyes darted, quick, nervous. Oh please. Don't dramatize this. You always do that. We're talking about family, not some boardroom fantasy. I stayed seated, hands folded on the table. My pulse was steady. That surprised even me. Family doesn't take what isn't theirs, I replied. Family doesn't gamble shared money and call it strategy. My father finally looked up from his plate. He'd been quiet all evening, the way men are when they don't want to pick a side. Let's all calm down, he muttered. No one's accusing anyone. I tilted my head. I am. Serena laughed too loudly. Accusing me of what? Being smarter than you. The chandelier above us hummed faintly. Electricity. Tension. Truth waiting for permission. You mocked my business for years, I said, still calm. Called it childish. Said I'd come crawling back when it failed. My mother waved a hand. You survived, didn't you? Be grateful. Grateful. For ridicule. For exclusion. For being left out of wills and meetings and decisions. Serena leaned forward now, her smile sharp. You think you're better than me because you got lucky? I met her gaze. No. I think I'm different because I kept records. Her smile cracked just for a second. And in that second, I knew she remembered the signatures she'd forged, the transfers she'd rushed, the documents she never thought anyone would read closely. The table felt suddenly too small for the truth it was about to hold. Serena leaned back, crossing her arms like armor. Records, she repeated, amused. You finally learned a big word? My mother shot me a warning look. Alara, stop antagonizing her. I exhaled slowly. The kind of breath you take before stepping into cold water. I'm not antagonizing anyone. I'm explaining why I won't give her half of what I earned. My father shifted in his chair. The legs scraped against the floor, sharp, uncomfortable. You're making this bigger than it needs to be. No, I said. It was always this big. You just didn't want to see it. Serena's voice dropped, syrupy now. So what, you're punishing me? For trying to manage things while you were off playing entrepreneur. I looked at her hands. Perfect nails. A faint tremor in her ring finger. You managed them, I said. You just forgot one thing. She rolled her eyes. And what's that? That I was copying every document you touched. The words landed quietly. No explosion. Just impact. My mother laughed nervously. Alara, don't joke like that. I'm not joking. I reached into my bag and placed my phone on the table. The screen lit up, reflecting in Serena's widening pupils. Transfers made at 2:14 a.m., I continued. Accounts rerouted. Properties reassigned under temporary authority. You were sloppy when you thought no one was watching. Serena stood up so fast her chair toppled backward. This is insane. But her voice betrayed her. Too high, too rushed. I didn't raise mine. You laughed at my business because it made you feel safe. You thought I didn't belong in your world. I met my mother's eyes. Turns out I was the only one who knew how to protect it. The silence returned, this time heavier. And Serena finally understood. This dinner wasn't about money. It was about consequences. My mother stood up slowly, palms pressed to the table like she needed support. Alara, put the phone away, she said. You're humiliating your sister. I looked at her, really looked. The way her voice still softened for Serena. The way it never had for me. I'm not humiliating her, I said. I'm refusing to cover for her. Serena shook her head, laughing again, but it sounded brittle now. You can't do anything with that. You're not even involved in the inheritance. That's why I could see it clearly, I replied. I wasn't blinded by entitlement. My father finally spoke, his voice low. If what you're saying is true, why now? I felt the weight of that question. Years of silence behind it. Because tonight, I said, Mom asked me to reward theft. She asked me to betray myself so the family could stay comfortable. My mother's eyes flashed. We are your family. And I'm done being your safety net, I said gently. Serena leaned toward me, her whisper sharp. You wouldn't dare. I smiled, not cruelly, not triumphantly. Just certain. I already did. I slid the phone toward my father. On the screen, an email time-stamped an hour earlier. Subject line. Independent audit confirmation. The room felt suddenly airless. And for the first time, Serena wasn't golden anymore. Just exposed. My father stared at the screen, his thumb hovering like it might burn him. You contacted an auditor? He asked quietly. Yes, I said. Months ago. My mother's voice shook. Behind our backs? I shook my head. In front of the truth. Serena reached for the phone, but I pulled it back. You don't get to manage this anymore. Her mask finally slipped. You always hated me, she snapped. Ever since we were kids. This is just jealousy dressed up as morality. I felt a strange calm settle in my chest. If this ever happened to you, say same in the comments, I thought absently, then pushed the thought away. This wasn't for anyone else. This was for me. I didn't hate you, I said. I trusted you. And when you laughed at my work, I believed you. I thought maybe I really was small. My mother's eyes softened, but it was too late. Alara, we can fix this quietly. That word, quietly, rang louder than any shout. That's what you've always done, I said. Fix things quietly. For her. I stood up, smoothing my jacket. My business survived because no one thought it mattered. It grew because I learned to be invisible. I looked at Serena one last time. You taught me that. And for the first time she had nothing to say. No one stopped me as I walked toward the door. Not my mother. Not my father. Not even Serena. The handle was cool under my palm when my mother finally spoke. If you walk out like this, she said, you're tearing this family apart. I turned slowly. No, I replied. I'm just refusing to hold it together with lies. My father stood up then, his voice quieter than I'd ever heard it. What happens now? I met his eyes. Now the audit runs its course. Independently. No favors. No soft landings. Serena's face had gone pale. You can't, she whispered. They'll freeze accounts. They'll ask questions. I nodded. They already have. Her breath hitched. For a moment she looked younger. Smaller. Not golden at all, just scared. My mother rushed toward me. Alara, please. Think about what this will do to her. I thought of the years she'd laughed while I swallowed doubt like medicine. I did think about her, I said. For a long time. That's why I waited until I could walk away clean. I opened the door. Behind me, Serena broke. You owe me. I paused just long enough to let my words land. I don't owe thieves, I said, inheritance or forgiveness. And I stepped into the night, knowing the damage had only just begun. The night air felt sharper than it should have, like it was cutting me awake. I stood on the porch for a second longer, listening, not to footsteps but to the house itself. The silence inside wasn't peaceful. It was collapsing. My phone vibrated once. Then again. A message from my father. The accounts are frozen. I closed my eyes. Not in relief. In confirmation. Another message followed, this time from my mother. You didn't have to do it like this. I almost laughed. Like this. As if there had ever been a way that didn't end with me being asked to shrink. Then Serena called. I didn't answer. Her voicemail came through anyway, ragged, desperate. Alara, please. I can fix this. I'll pay it back. I was going to. She always was going to. I deleted it. What she never understood was this. I didn't need her downfall. I needed distance. I needed the truth to exist without my permission. By the time I reached my car, my hands had stopped shaking. I wasn't cold anymore. Inside that house, roles were being rewritten. Lawyers would replace laughter. Paper would replace denial. And for the first time in my life, the family story was moving forward without me being edited out. That was the real inheritance. Weeks later, I sat alone in my office as rain traced thin lines down the glass. No applause. No victory speech. Just quiet. The audit did what truth always does when left alone. It spoke clearly. Funds traced. Decisions documented. Authority revoked. Serena didn't go to prison. That wasn't the point. She lost access. Lost trust. Lost the illusion that consequences were optional. My parents tried to call. I let it ring. Not out of cruelty, but because silence was the first boundary I'd ever set that didn't shake. My business kept growing. Not explosively. Steadily. Honestly. Clients who valued clarity found me. Partners who respected limits stayed. For the first time, my work wasn't a secret I protected. It was a life I owned. One afternoon, an envelope arrived. Inside was a short note from my mother. No apologies. Just one line. We understand now why you never asked us for anything. I folded it carefully and placed it in a drawer. Understanding didn't rewrite history. It just arrived late. I don't attend family dinners anymore. I don't explain my choices. I don't correct the story they tell others. I don't need to. Because I didn't take revenge. I took myself back.